Hello everyone, this is Stefan from Lush and Salty Aquariums. How are we doing? You're looking at my lush and lovely 5-gallon planted aquarium. It homes a group of green neon tetras as well as a few gold neon or albino neon tetras and a whole bunch of cherry shrimp. Just look at them against that driftwood there. Oh my god. There's also a few gigantic amano shrimp, a few pygmy cories, autocinklus, ram's horn snails, maybe a nearite or two. Generally speaking, this is classic of all my tanks. It's overgrown, perhaps overpopulated, and heavily tended to, so I can keep a large group of animals as well as maintain them in a small fish tank. That means I have to spend a fair amount of time making sure the parameters are good. Moreover, the water clarity, the filtration, and the plant growth. Plants, they are the key to having a large bio load. The more plants you have, the more they oxygenate the water, the more they take out junk from the fish's waste and use them to sustain themselves. I believe that topwater plants like these frogbit and of course the ubiquitous duckweed also help in filtration. And then you see guppy grass. I have a tangle of it here. All of that keeps the water nice and clean and allows for a great many animals to live in a fairly contained space. So inside this tank you see Anubias petite. That's probably $200 worth or more in 3 massive clusters, really just one big cluster, forming this great green centerpiece against the classic hockey stick shaped aquascape of driftwood. There's a nice sweep of it here that has a ton of a ton of cherry shrimp lodged upon it doing their thing. These are all full-grown adults. Many of them are of the high-grade variety, and that's not by design. I'm just fortunate that way. They shine like Christmas ornaments in this tank, especially against all that green and the dark substrate. I'm a fan of dark substrate because it makes all the colors pop, including these great green neons. Green neons are a little smaller than neon tetras, and I kind of like them more at this point. There's just something a little bit rarer and more beautiful about them. I shouldn't say more beautiful. There's nothing unbeautiful about a neon tetra, but there's a little bit of uncommonality to these creatures. And then the albino ones I would catch and put in with another group that I have, but as soon as I put the net in there, they go crazy and hide, and I don't want to disrupt the aquascape chasing them, and they seem to be doing fine. They're getting older. That one back there is behaving as older fish do, kind of a little bit of a shimmy, but it's been doing that forever, and I'm not worried about it in terms of a disease. There's a pygmy Corydoras. I have a couple of those in there, maybe more than a couple. I can't always find my creatures in my tanks because it is so overgrown with plant life. All of them are, and all of my tanks I should say, and so finding all the creatures that I'm talking about can be difficult. In almost every video I talk about a fish that I cannot find, but this is just a great view into this little world. If I took the guppy grass out, I'd have a cleaner aquascape for sure. I have some crypts in the back, cryptocairn, and a kind of a vallisneria plant. You see the long kind of grass-like growth there. And if I took all this guppy grass out, that would be more prominent, and the aquascape would be more delineated But the cherry shrimp and really all the creatures just seem to enjoy going in and about the massive tangle of guppy grass, so I'm leaving it in there. I always pull from it when I want to put a bit of plant life into a jar aquarium or something quick. If I'm moving livestock around and I want them to feel more comfortable, you can just throw in a hunk of guppy grass. It grows back. It's neither really in the ground or floating. It's kind of both. And so it's just easy peasy. I would be happy to share some of these cherry shrimp for any kind of a trade or barter. Probably just give you some. I've always made this offer if you're in Marin County and you're looking for a few cherry shrimp or some Endler guppies or something where I have just absolutely a bounty. It will be my pleasure to help you out in that regard. And I don't have a monetary agenda about doing that. I just want to share in the joy of this hobby, as well as move the livestock to new horizons and cleaner spaces because they keep reproducing. I have so many cherry shrimp, it's off the chain. And since I don't sell livestock on any web platform, I just accumulate them, and I cannot set up a single other tank in this house. On and on, yada, yada, yada. Here's an overhead view of frogbit and duckweed. You also see the lucky palm that I have in a number of my tanks. It's growing nicely. The rootstock is probably halfway through the tank and below. I've got a simple Azu hang on back filter. It has mostly biomedia in it, although you see a little filter floss with charcoal. I just do that to clean the water, take some of the tannins out, because this driftwood is forever leaching tannins and the water quickly turns tea colored, which is fine for the fish, but I just like a cleaner look for my own aesthetic. I've got a simple flue ball CO2 kit. I don't think it's necessary, but it's been on here since the beginning when I was starting up all these plants. And you can see all that new anubias growth. That's a slow grower, not terribly easy to get such successfully robust, lush green and algae-free plants. CO2 helps with that. So, as I move in to look at this cluster of cherry shrimp, here's saying always keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now.